G'day, in Total War Warhammer, you recruit units all the time, but might not know the story behind these units. I, a Kiwi, will be explaining the backstory and lore of all Empire missile infantry currently available. Let's begin with the state troops, so the people that actually get given a salary for throwing their lives away. This includes Empire archers, crossbowmen and handgunners. State troops are the backbone of the Empire army, with the rest filled out by peasants and mercenaries. They are recruited by recruitment parties that promise them a life of adventure and glory. I wish recruitment ads were like this today. These troops are professional and disciplined soldiers that can serve in a standing army, as garrisons or as police. Empire archers are professional soldiers generally from the northern parts of the Empire where they are famous for their bowmen. But the bows are coming out of fashion lately, since crossbows and handguns are taking over. So if you're still rocking a regular bow, you might seem a bit povo. Although bows might not pack a punch like the alternatives, they still shoot a lot faster. Archers are generally deployed as skirmishers in small groups that are flexible in their use and support the rest of the army. Crossbows have been growing in popularity in the Empire, but they still aren't that popular because of the more conservative fellas in the Empire that believe it's not an honourable weapon. This might be a bit surprising considering how much you might recruit them in game. Although a crossbow may not have the penetration power of a long handgun and its thick black balls, it can be very effective in the hands of an expert. Handgunners are state troops with either matchlock or flintlock black powder weapons. These guns are made in a place named Nuln. These guns are a bit cumbersome and take a long time to load, so handgunners aren't as flexible as archers, but at least they aren't poor. Handguns are expensive, so only the richest states can afford them. Although handguns have their issues and black powder can be ruined by the rain, their penetrative abilities will obliterate any coming their way. Free Company Militia. I don't know if you can tell by the name, but they aren't state troops. We've covered those now. These poor souls are usually whoever the general can find and conscripted from the local area to help plump up the general's numbers for a single conflict. This can be a single battle, but if unlucky, could be as long as a year. If they are lucky enough to survive, they will be given a few shekels and told to fuck off. The militia usually aren't given anything, so they just use what they already have. This could be clothes that sorta resemble their state uniform, and anything that can be used as a weapon, even farming tools. However, in-game, rather than being portrayed as peasant filth wielding bricks, sticks and hoes, they are cool eye patch wearing dudes carrying swords and probably quite expensive pistols. Their upkeep is also higher than archers, who are professional soldiers and law-wise consider Free Company peasant scum, although their unit size is larger, making them a bit cheaper per person. Despite the rubbish arming of the militia, they can fight surprisingly hard, especially if they are desperately fighting to protect their home. As well as being a good source of expendable cannon fodder, there are other reasons to recruit them. For example, an elector cult might find that the unruly youth keep complaining about shit like,
the end times are coming!
To prevent the spread of their obviously uneducated views and misinformation, they can be conscripted and sent somewhere far away to restore their faith in Sigma, before they start rebelling and anti-magic protests start popping up everywhere. Although the Empire is a highly developed empire, just like China, most of it's a shithole. These untamed jungly wilds are crawling with disgusting, unholy, flesh-eating mutants, with their appearance resembling the San Francisco homeless. This is also the land of the Empire's huntsmen. These elite bowmen make sport of hunting these monstrosities. They can hunt down a ghoul faster than a bush Maori can hunt down a moa. In case you can't tell by the name, huntsmen are master hunters and master baiters. They don't have any fancy pants crossbows or handguns, but they make up for it with skill and knowledge. Their high adaptability to any environment makes them very valuable and perfect for pissing off opposing generals. They are put into small skirmishing groups to scout and harass the enemy. It's not fun when you're rebelling against the Empire, only to turn around and see your war machine crews with arrows in their heads and their brains spilling out. Well, I hope you learned something about some of the units you use and think about it while you're playing Total War. If you liked it, leave a comment and let me know if you want to see another video on some other awesome units like the War Wagon. If you didn't like it, leave a comment calling me a retard. This would really hurt my feelings. I hope you had a happy new year and spent some time socialising. I hope 2020 is better than the last. Now fuck off.